What's up, everybody? It's Stas here. Welcome back to another video. As you guys read in the title of this video, I just wanted to quickly go over pretty much a recap of my video from Sunday. Today's Tuesday, April 24th, and on Sunday I made a video calling out 3 stocks / ETFs. So I pretty much just wanted to, do a recap, tell you guys what is going on with these 3 stocks and ETFs, and I wanted to show you guys a couple of more that I've been watching throughout this week. As you know, the markets have been, playing out. It's been 2 trading days already, and we've seen some market action. I just wanted to cover it with you guys very, very quickly on this particular video. So for those of you guys that did watch my previous video on Sunday, I called out Apple, ERY, which is an inverse ETF to ERX, and I called out /GC, which is the gold futures, and there's 2 ETFs that trade based upon this futures and this future, and they're JNUG and JDST, and those are the other 2 ones that I called out and said that I was going to be keeping an eye on very, very closely, for this week that we're in right now. So let's just talk about /GC first and these 2 gold futures that we were watching. So if you guys recall from my video that I released on Sunday, we were watching very, very closely if gold was going to continue on this ascending uptrend pattern that it was on, or if it was going to fall down and start to consolidate at the support level of 1330, that's what it seems like it's doing, right? But we were looking at it very, very closely on Sunday to see if it was going to continue this uptrending pattern of creating higher highs. So if we look back at the 180-day, the 180-day analysis, and for those of you guys that are new to this channel and new to swing trading ETFs in general, whenever this commodity gold futures goes up in price, JNUG goes up in price because this is the inverse ETF. That's a bull ETF, right? So gold goes up, JNUG goes up, but JDST goes up in price when the gold futures are in a bearish mood or when they're going down in price. So now that /GC is consolidating at that 1330 support level that we did call out in my previous video, it's safe to say, in my personal opinion, that JNUG is actually becoming a very good play right now. And for those of you guys that were paying attention to the markets today, they saw that JNUG is actually up 3% today from yesterday, right? We saw that it closed at, actually not from yesterday, from market open in particular, sorry, but we saw that yesterday we closed at $14.29, and as gold consolidated, you can see here it was consolidating, then it started to shoot up a little bit overnight from 1328, I believe, to about 1332, and now we're about 3 to 4% higher from where JNUG opened up at this particular market open. And like I said before, guys, JNUG goes up in price when gold futures go up in price, and now that gold futures are consolidating at 1330, we see that JNUG itself is consolidating at right around $14.30. So and I do see potential in /GC shooting back up to about 1340, 1350, because we did see a huge sell-off over the past couple of days. If we do look at this 10-day chart, we did see it topped off at about 1355. We saw a huge sell-off to 1323, and then it's been consolidating there a little bit, and now we're starting to see a little bit of an uptrend break above the EMA line, and pretty much I do see potential in this one running up to about 1345, 1350, which does offer great play for JNUG, like I said before, and JNUG itself does have potential to get back to the mid-15s to maybe even $16 at the end of this week, in my personal opinion. But again, do your own due diligence, do your own research when you're researching these particular stocks. And that's pretty much it right now with these gold futures and JNUG and JDST. Also, what I wanted to mention, guys, if /GC does break the support and start to go down in price, JDST itself is going to be looking like a good play because it's actually still trading above the EMA line, it looks like, and we're just going to have to keep a close eye on these 2 ETFs to see pretty much how /GC is going to perform tomorrow and the rest of the week, because like I said, that dictates on how JNUG and JDST are going to end up playing for this upcoming week. So the second ETF that I was able to call out on Sunday's video was ERY, this particular one right here, and this is another inverse ETF, guys. This is Excuse me, this is Direxion Daily Energy Bear ETF. So this is another bear ETF, and the inverse to this one is ERX. Like I mentioned in my previous video, these are another pair of inverse ETFs, just like JNUG and JDST, but these ones trade based upon this energy sector index right here, which is ticker symbol IXE. So pretty much whenever this index goes up in price, ERX, which is the bull ETF, goes up in price as well. But whenever it goes down in price, ERY goes up in price. So while we're looking at this one in particular, just to recap the video from Sunday, that we see some hard consolidation on this particular ETF at this price point of 739 if we're looking at the index in particular. And how this correlates to the ETF, guys, if we look back to ERY, we see that it's consolidating at $38.47. And like I said in my previous video, we saw a huge sell-off in this particular ETF, right? Because as we saw in the index that it trades upon, it shot up in price, right? And when it shot up in price, ERY went all the way down about 10%, I believe, and that opened up 10% potential for profit. And that's very, very good in the eyes of a swing trader. Remember that, guys. So if we look back at ERY, we see some strong consolidation here at $38, and we see that it did fall from 51 down to 38, and excuse me, that was a 24% drop from 50 to 39. So that's not even a 10%, that's a 20% drop. So that opens up 20% potential for profit with this particular ETF, right? And if we look back to the 5-day, 5-minute chart, I called it out on Sunday. We were looking at it on Sunday in particular when it was roughly at the price of about like $37, I believe, and I was able to get in at $37, and I'm still holding shares in this particular ETF, which is ERY. And right now, today, you see it's up 3.24%, up $1.23, and I still see a lot of potential in this, but I'm actually keeping a very, very tight stop loss on this particular ETF, because just so I can explain it to you guys and show you, because this simple fact that it's still consolidating at this particular price, this is the index, by the way, it's still consolidating above the EMA line, so it still has not confirmed a downtrend, guys, but once it does confirm a downtrend, that is when I'm going to go heavier into ERY, because once this downtrend's right here, IXE, ERY is going to start to uptrend even more. But right now, it has not confirmed this downtrend. I'm still up 3% on my position with ERY. But until this index, IXE, confirms that downtrend, I'm not going to add more of my position to ERY. But until that moment, guys, or maybe it doesn't. If it doesn't, I'm going to cut losses or take profits wherever I'm at in that particular situation, in that particular point in time. But I'm looking at it very, very closely, guys. And if it does break, I'm going to add some more to my position. And if it does run up, I'm just going to take profits where I am right now. So the third stock that I called out was Apple, and Apple isn't performing very well. It's actually still downtrending from the point where I called it out. I called it out on Sunday, and I believe on Friday it closed at about, let's see if we look on Friday. Yeah, it closed at 165, and it's just been slowly falling ever since then. The market itself right now is kind of funky, guys. A lot of companies are reporting great earnings, but they're still falling down in price. So it's kind of a funky market right now that we're in, but we're still going to keep a very, very close eye on Apple, because like I mentioned in my previous video, their earnings report is on May 1st, which is actually a week from today or a week from tomorrow. Correct me if I'm wrong, but that is when their earnings report is, and they're expected to do decent earnings for this upcoming quarter. Their revenue is projected to grow. I read from some analyst reports and stuff like that. So Apple is looking pretty good right now. If you're looking more for a long-term investment, I personally do like Apple, and especially since it's right now, it's at a dip buy, in my personal opinion. We can see that it did top off at 178, and we saw a huge drop to about 162 where it's at right now. That's a 10% drop in the past week or two. So I do see potential with Apple if you want to hold it as a swing trade through their earnings report. If their earnings report does good and investors in the market react positively to it, this stock could potentially grow, 5 to 6 to 7% over the next couple of weeks. But again, I'm not a financial advisor. Do your own due diligence. Do not take my advice on this particular analysis that I'm doing right here. And if you do see value in Apple in the long term, feel free to invest. It's your money. You can do what you want, right, guys? So that is another stock that I called out. I'm currently not holding any shares of Apple. I'm waiting for it to bottom out before I personally get in. But I just wanted to just recover it or recap it for you guys quickly because I did mention it in my Sunday's video. And now let's talk about some more ETFs that I'm currently watching now that I did not mention in my previous video. So some other ETFs that have been performing very, very well these past 2 days that I actually did not call out in my video, but I've actually invested in one of these is LABD and DGAS. DGAS is actually opening up to be a nice looking swing trade right now. But firstly, I want to talk about LABD, and this is another inverse ETF. I'm pretty sure the inverse to this one is LABU. Let me actually double check for you guys real quick. Yeah, LABU, Direxion Biotech. This is the bull ETF, right? LABU, but we're talking about LABD in particular. And like I said, these are inverse ETFs. Again, we trade a bunch of inverse ETFs on this particular channel. But why I see value in this one, and before I get into that, it actually trades based upon this particular index right here, which is $SPSIBI. And this is the S&P Biotechnology Select Industry Index. And the one that we're trading is LABD, and this is the bear ETF. So whenever this goes down in price, LABD is going to go down in price. So if we look at this chart right here, we can clearly see that this is falling down in price, right? And it does not seem like it's looking to reverse anytime soon. The EMA line's pointing down and the candlesticks are clearly dropping, right? So if we look even closer to the 20-day chart, oh, my laptop's about to die. Let me hurry up. But yeah, if we look at the 30-minute or the 1-hour chart, 20-day 1-hour chart, we see that, okay, it bottomed off at 64.03 here, then it shot up all the way to 71.44, and the past couple of days, it's been continuously dropping and trading below the EMA line, right? It's trading below the EMA line, it's popping back up, it's getting rejected by that EMA line, and it's just continuously confirming that downtrend pattern, and that's why I see a ton of value in LABD right now. And if we look over to LABD, and we go to the 180-day 4-hour chart, we see that, okay, it bounced at this particular price point. It bounced at 27.1, shot up all the way to 42, then it bounced again at $30 and about, yeah, $30, and now it's actively trending above the EMA line. And if we look over the past 5 days, it's performing very, very nicely. From 30 bucks, if you were able to get in at the bounce, and it actually just hit 37 today, that is a 20% gain in just the matter of a couple of days, right? And I actually started watching this one in particular on Monday during the market open and midday. This one was performing very, very well. So we see on Monday it opened up at 33.30, and then we saw an instant shot up all the way to $35. And like I said, it's constantly, the index it trades upon is constantly downtrending, which means that this one is going to be on an uptrend pattern. So from there, guys, Monday, I was able to take a position on this one. I actually posted my profits on my Instagram yesterday. If you guys follow me on Instagram, link down below in the description. I post all of my profits on there, but I was actually able to make, I'm up $200 in this particular position right now. I actually did not sell. I still have shares in this particular position of LABD because I still see potential in it because of the index itself still being on that confirmed downtrend right now. And I'm not going to cut losses, or I'm not going to take profits until, you know, that index bottoms out and starts to form that uptrend, right? Because once it starts to form that uptrend, this particular ETF is going to start going down in price. But if we look at the 180-day 4-hour chart again, this particular index, or this particular ETF, excuse me, still has room to run. We see that it topped off at $42, it topped off at $42 a couple of weeks ago, right? So there's still some potential in profit for this particular ETF, and what we're going to be looking at closely is if it's going to be actively trading above the EMA line, guys. That's what we're going to be looking at very, very closely, because once it dips below and the index that it trades goes up in price, that is when this one's going to start to go down. We're going to have to take our profits, but there's still some profit left on the board for this particular for this particular ETF, and that is why I see a ton of value in this one for the rest of the week. And yeah, that's pretty much it for this one, guys. And now to cover DGAS very quickly. Let's go to DGAS really quick. So DGAS, we saw a huge sell-off today on DGAS. We saw about a 4% drop on this particular ETF, and this is another one that I traded last week, and I think I made about $300 profit on this one last week. But just to cover it very quickly, this is another inverse ETF. DGAS is the inverse ETF to UGAS, and these two trade based upon natural gas, right? Because they're natural gas ETFs, and the commodity is /NG natural gas futures, right? And whenever the natural gas futures go up in price, DGAS goes down in price because it's a bear ETF, and vice versa for UGAS, right? So now that we see DGAS, you know, at a support level of about $26, $26.50, we see natural gas at a common resistance level where it's actually topped off and went down in price from multiple times. If we zoom into this particular index, or not index, excuse me, this particular future, this particular chart, we see that it topped off here at 278. Topped off here at about 280, topped off here at about 275, then here at about 277, here at about 277. And what price is it at right now, guys? It's at $2.78. And the past couple of days, natural gas has been on a bull run. So what I'm expecting with this particular commodity right now is that, okay, it could consolidate at 280 at this particular resistance level. And if it does, DGAS is going to end up being a good play for the rest of the week because it's a common resistance level here. And us as traders, guys, we have to take risk management and really understand the positions that we're taking. And right now, we see that it's at a common resistance level. It's bounced, or it's fallen down from this particular price point multiple times. And if we look at a closer, at the 5-day, 15-minute analysis, this has been on a bull run for the past couple of days. And in my personal opinion, natural gas is due for a little pullback, right? We saw last time, a couple days ago, oh, look, it just shot up again to new highs of 279.6. And right now, the RSI is showing that it's very oversold, not very oversold, but it's getting into overbought territory of 72.19 right now. So what we're going to be looking at is that if it tops off here and starts to form that downtrend, DGAS is going to open up as a great opportunity as a swing trade. And, if it does top off here and starts to form that downtrend, that's when we're going to get into DGAS. And we're going to be looking at this commodity very, very closely pre-market hours tomorrow from about 7 a.m. to 9:30 p.m. or a.m. where I am in New Jersey. That's when I look at all these particular stocks pre-market hours to see how they're performing and what I'm going to be doing in that particular day in terms of trading in the stock market, trading these ETFs and stocks. So that is what I'm doing right now, guys. These are the couple of stocks that I'm currently involved in, or the couple of ETFs that I'm currently involved in, and hope you guys take some value from this video, enjoy this video. Hopefully I helped you and bring some value into your life. If I did, please make sure to drop a like, leave a comment, and subscribe. And if you want to follow me on Instagram, link down below in the description. I post all my profits there. I post any updates to my channel when videos come out. I post, things that I'm doing in my personal life, entrepreneurial ventures, and just things about me, guys. If you want to learn more about me, if you want to join the community on Instagram, feel free to do so. If not, that's okay too. I appreciate everybody out there watching this particular video and any of my videos. If you guys have been loyally following me on YouTube, I really, really, really appreciate it. Hopefully everybody out there is working hard towards their goals. I'll see you guys in tomorrow's video. Let's kill the market tomorrow. Peace.